So today we're going to be changing out the caliper on a 2011 Ram 1500, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's actually not as hard as I make it out to be, so if you follow these steps, I could fast forward a few of them for you. So believe it or not, these are all the tools that you'll need. I have 3 different wrenches just because it helps me to go quicker actually, because there's 3 different sizes. We've got the big screw on the back that holds the caliper on. It's on the back right now, so I can't show you that. And then you got one for these guys here, so that you can loosen this and get your brakes on and put them back on. And then you got the other one, the smaller one, which will be for your brake fluid line, which is on the current caliper. So that's that. That's to lift the tire. And just in case you have one of those, I think they're called star or something like that, lug nuts, you need a special tool, and it looks like that on the inside. So that's it. Once your tire is loosened, it's time to go ahead and raise your truck just a little bit to get that tire off, and then we can get to work on the new caliper. Okay, we got it up and the tire off, and don't forget to use your tire as a safety valve just in case something should happen to the lift. And then here's our caliper, our brake fluid line, and then the nuts we want to get off are back here. There's one up here and there's one down here. So those are the bigger ones. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen those, loosen the brake line. Make sure you put a bucket underneath it if you have brake fluid in there. Mine's all gone because I don't have brakes and it leaked out, and that's the reason why they're gone. So yeah, if you're gonna drain them, put a bucket down there, catch as much as you can, and then dispose of it the way that your municipality, your city wants you to do it. So let's get started. This is a 13/16 bolt, nut, whatever. And because it's facing you, you want to go righty-loosey, not righty-tighty, righty-loosey. If it was facing this way, then it's righty-tighty. But facing at you, it's righty-loosey. And then you do the one down here as well. See, it's a good one. Get on there. You need that one going as well. I obviously already loosened them before I shot this, but yeah, anyways, that's where they are. And then you can just take them off by hand from there. And now we're gonna do that one. And so the one for the brake line is an 11. Throw that on there, just like so. And then we'll get it going. Okay, so by the time you get a couple of twists on it, it's gonna start leaking brake fluid, and to this point you're gonna be spilling it out. So remember, have that bucket down there. For me, mine was dry. Alright, so it comes like this. You have the clips here. These are brake clips. They're supposed to help with non-squeaking and stuff. I don't really like them that much. They're hard. They're not hard to smell, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to get the brakes to slide on them right. You don't need them. Just put some grease on your brakes, and there's plenty of grease in the new one. And these bolts here, when you take these off, you'll see there's plenty of grease, and you can just throw it on there and throw it on there, and then put your brake pads on. You're good to go. All right, so that's what it looks like. Gotta separate this one out. So I'm gonna take this top piece off, and then you gotta reposition it so that it'll actually squeeze together. In order to reposition it, you gotta remove these 2 screws here, and that's where the grease will be. And then we can use that grease, like I said, on the brakes. And what you're using is a 12, so just a slight difference between this one and for the brake fluid. You're gonna slide that on, and you're gonna twist those off. Okay, so it's a 12 on these, not too much of a difference, but you want to take these 2 bolts off, and we go back to the old school method of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We want to loosen, so we're going to go to the left, which is that way, counterclockwise. Righty-tighty is clockwise, so back to the old school, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Alright, so you can see this is loaded with grease. That's where the screw was in, and there's a ton more greases right there. That's for the particular job function they have. They need a lot, so I'll take some of that grease and grab it where the brakes are going to be, which are right there, there, and there. Get the grease in this groove here and in this groove here, and then that should do it. Put the pads on. Alright, so I just put on that portion by itself, and I have this screw barely just holding it on there. That way I can get the brake pads on there, and you just slide them in from the side like that on each side. Make sure the abrasive side is on the wheel here, and then once you have it lined up, you can go ahead and screw that in and get the caliper on. And make sure you got them on right. They will go on right, just gotta make sure you have them turned right. But see, that one has the groove so the wheel can go past it. And then this one is the one that's sticking out with the circle there. And that's so the caliper right here can go around it. So there you go. Okay, so now I got both bolts in place. Just make sure it lines up, the caliper lines up, but they're not all the way on. Brakes are on there too. So on these are the things I don't like. This is the hardest one for me, but you have these things that go up and down, and you got to make sure you line this thing up above where the nut goes, or the bolt goes in, and then you get it lined up. You can get it a little bit on, but then the one that's down there you got to do as well. And they're just kind of tough to line up. That's why I'm doing it this way. Give myself a little wiggle room with the entire unit itself. But yeah, that's a trick right there. Just kind of slowly go back and forth between these bolts, and then get them in. And once they're in like Flynn. All right, so it's facing me, so I'm gonna go lefty locky. I just came up with that one. One's backwards. And we'll just kind of do a little at a time on both of these because they're, like I said, they're the trickier ones. And got that one on, get this one on. And then not all the way, you don't have to get it really hard yet. That's what she said, but you really don't have to get it that hard. Same with these, you want to lock it really tight. I think 120 pressure on this. This one, just hand pressure, tighten. And same thing with your brake line, hand pressure, tighten. And this is 120 down. Got it. So we're gonna want to make sure we use the correct bolt. So we're gonna take the one from the new one, not the one from the old one. And we're gonna take the old one out of the casing there and put the new one in. Be careful, do not get any gravel, dirt, anything on these, otherwise it won't line up. Remember, it's pressurized, it's like plumbing basically. So yeah, do it correctly and as cleanly as possible. So you'll notice you have two O-rings there. They're in the wrong spot. One of them's in the right spot, the other one goes on the other side, but they're there right now because it's a new unit. So I'm just gonna take these off and make sure I don't drop either one of those onto the ground. And then I'm just gonna transfer it to the other case. Hold them in place. See, it comes off that fast. That's how easy it is to drop those. And then we're just gonna put it in here, and I'm gonna take the camera out of my hand so I can do it without dropping them. So that's where the brake line is. We got that on O-ring on that side, O-ring on that side, and then you have a short side on here. Make sure that's the one that lines up with the wall that's right there. So I'm gonna put this in like this. I can't see what I'm doing, hopefully you can. There we go, get it lined up and screw it in. Alright, so we tighten this up by hand. We tighten these up by hand. Tighten these up, remember 120 pressure. And we're ready to go. So we're gonna put some brake fluid in and just pump the brakes when it's off. And that'll squeeze these cylinders together, the brakes together. And then we'll turn it on and see if the system works. Well shoot, it bled a little bit, so I got worried. And then I just tightened it a little bit more. And thank God it works. Because I kept tightening the old one and just kept spraying and spraying and spraying. So I thought I was gonna have to replace the hose as well. Turns out it was just the caliper. Brakes are working. Put the tire on before I remembered I was making a short film on this so other people can do it, but that's how you do it. And then you pump your brakes while it's off. You put the fluid in first, then you pump your brakes while it's off, then you turn your car on, pump the brakes again. Do not go all the way to the floor. If you do that, you could do some damage to your brake system actually. That's all the way to the floor when it's on. So yeah, off first, get it so that it's tight, turn it on, and then it's going to be loose again, but just play with it, don't go all the way to the floor, and then as you're driving, just give yourself a good 20-30 miles before you start doing any heavy braking. Good people here at O'Reilly Auto Parts have been really good to me. Bill here in Fife, should come check him out. He was very helpful and helped me through the whole process of buying a new part, and then when that part didn't work, just kind of helped me get the replacement part for it. And without him here, I got it done. So I wish he was here. I'd give him a high five. And so that's how you do it. That's how you change out a caliper. Might take you a couple times, but if you get the right part and it works, It's not that hard to do. It actually only took me about a half hour, so not too bad. Sure you have the right tools though.